Welcome to Habit Ed. I'm really excited about this second installment of choosing the right habit. So this is part two of that because a lot of times when we're choosing the right habit and picking a habit, we just pick and go. And there's more that goes into choosing a habit. It's not just the habit, there's other components you have to think about. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So the first one is skill level. One thing I love about habit building is people are usually building habits because they're inspired by maybe somebody else who is doing a specific habit. So they want to bring it into their life. And I love that. I love what inspiration can do and motivate people in different ways. But we have to realize that not everybody is at the same level. And whenever you're choosing a habit, you want to start at a skill level that best suits you. So here's an example of walking for 10 minutes Monday through Friday or jogging for 20 minutes Monday through Friday. These require different skill levels. So for any habit that you build, you have to think about your skill level or you could be setting yourself up for failure. The reality about this, maybe you could jog one time, but to consistently do it over time may be very, very difficult for you. And so thinking about your skill level will help you get success when it comes to your habit. Second is the time. And it shows it here again, where the 10-minute time frame and 20-minute time frame, where you can think about your day, how much time you have, the time of day you're going to do it, and how much time you can actually give to this habit. And the last one is energy. Thinking about your energy. And this can think about, the time of day. It can be what's going on in your world. It could be the season of life. But knowing your energy is important. And so that may help you choose a specific habit to go after. So these are three components that are really, really important. And I want to break down time and energy component a little bit more because I think it's really important to see where a habit fits, because sometimes I don't think we're setting habits. We might be setting goals, we might be setting priorities, we may be setting projects or challenges, and we want to make sure that we are in a habit category. So I'm going to talk about activation energy and time investment. Activation energy is just the initial energy you need to activate something. So whenever you start a habit, and I mentioned this in a previous blog, is you want to be able to do it right now. And that's really, really important with a habit. You want to be able to have no resistance to starting it right now. You may not always want to do it, but you don't have any resistance or barriers to actually start it. And when it comes to time investment, you're thinking about the length of time it actually takes. So these are really important things when it comes to actually building a habit. So looking at this, when you're thinking about the activation energy and time investment, when there's a low activation energy and short time investment, that is where a priority sits. So when you have that low activation and short investment, that's where a priority fit. When you have high activation, meaning there are some barriers to starting at different points, but it is a short investment, that's where a challenge or a project sits. When you have low activation energy, but you want to continue it long term, this is where a habit sits. And then last but not least, when you have high activation, but you want to continue it long term, this is where a goal sits. So you want to make sure that whenever you are trying to start a habit, you're thinking about, do I have any barriers, and do I see something that I can maintain long period of time? Some people may have some barriers with a habit they start, but because it's so hard for them to activate it over and over, they can only maintain it for a short amount of time. So there are some challenges that we might do that fit in that category. But when we think about a habit, we want to make sure this is something we can maintain for years and years if we need to. And over time, our skill level will increase so we can shift the habit. But this is just starting it. So when you think about choosing the right habit, you want to choose a habit that has no barriers and you can dive into it right away. Okay, I'm going to give one more example when it comes to this. I'm going to use journaling, because activating the right habit is just such a great thing to think about whenever you are engaging in habit building. You want to activate the right habit. And so I'm trying to get you to see whenever you choose a habit, you're not just thinking about the activity, you're also thinking about the time frame. You're thinking about the energy that goes into this process of habit building and helps us set smart habits. And that's what I want us to do so we have a greater chance of success. So when we think about activating the right habit and activating a new habit when it comes to journaling, I love thinking about, I don't want to go too out of bounds, but this is different for every single person. So every person, this can look very different. So at the start, when you're thinking about energy and time, maybe for journaling, it may be, I just need to write a word. Some of you look at that and you're like, a word? That's not enough. Are you kidding me? Well, for some people, this is a great start. It's a place where there's no barriers and they feel good about the time. They can start with a word. Now, the reason why I get excited about this is if someone starts with a word, I know over time that's going to increase. But at least they're starting somewhere and they can activate it. Because if they start too high and there's high activation energy, then there's a chance they won't continue this. So start with a word. Then it might turn into write a line. Then a line can turn into follow a guided page. Follow a guided page can turn into write a full page. Write full page can turn into write multiple pages. Now, depending on your skill level, you could start at write a full page or write multiple pages if your skill level is there and there's no barriers to that. But you have to think about whenever you're starting a new habit, the skill level, the energy you have, and then the time investment you can give all play into choosing the right habit. If you think about this and follow this formula, you're going to have greater success when it comes to habit building. So, this is the second installment of choosing the right habit. I hope this helps you as you're diving into habit building even more. Until next time, have a great day.